very good evening. From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. I'm Vidushni Sadish Kumar.
A very good evening. I am Dishan Veerakone and here are your headlines for tonight. Sri Lankans celebrate the 73rd National Independence Day with great pride and dignity. Those who supported and enabled the Easter Sunday attack will not be allowed to escape justice. Necessary steps taken on the central bank bond scam. President emphasizes at the National Independence Day celebrations. Celebrations across the country, including the North and East, marking the National Independence Day. Steps taken to vaccinate more than 9 million Sri Lankans for COVID-19. Now starting off with your top story for tonight. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says he will fulfill the responsibility the nation has entrusted to him with commitment and dedication. The president made these remarks while addressing the nation at the 73rd National Independence Day celebrations. The Independence Day celebration was held in a gallant and distinguished manner at the Independence Square in Colombo. This year's Independence Day celebrations were organized while adhering to the COVID-19 outbreak. More than 5,000 personnel of the Triforces took part in the event. Mahasangha, other religious leaders, parliamentarians and ministers, foreign dignitaries and state officials were present at this occasion. Firstly, the IGP, commanders of the Triforces and the Secretary of the Defence, General Kamal Gunaratne, arrived to the ceremony. Subsequently, Governor of Western Province, Marshal of the Air Force, Roshan Gunatilaka, arrived to the ceremony. Then Minister Chamal Rajapaksa graced the occasion with his arrival. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa welcomed opposition leader Sajith Premadasa upon his arrival to the ceremony. Subsequently, Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abewardena and his spouse graced the 73rd Independence Day commemoration ceremony with their arrival. Then former President Maithripala Sirisena attended the ceremony. Subsequently, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and his spouse Mrs. Shriyanti Rajapaksa graced the occasion with their arrival. They were welcomed by Minister Chamal Rajapaksa and Governor of Western Province, Marshal of the Air Force Roshan Gunatilaka. Chief guest of the 73rd National Independence Day celebrations, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and his spouse Mrs. Ayoma Rajapaksa graced the ceremony with their arrival. The President and his spouse were welcomed by Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abewardena, Minister Chamal Rajapaksa, Governor of Western Province, Marshal of Air Force Roshan Gunatilaka and Secretary to the Defence, General Kamal Gunaratne. The Independence Day ceremony commenced following the arrival of the President. A 2-minute silence was observed for the war veterans who sacrificed their lives for the country. Subsequently, Triforces presented salutations to the President. The Sri Lanka Artillery Regiment conducted the 21-gun salute and showcased the pride of the 73rd National Independence Day to the nation.
ත්‍රිදම්දා සම්මානමුරේ සියල්ල සම්පූර්ණයි නිවැරදි. ත්‍රිදම්දා සම්මානමුරේ ඉතිරිමට සතරගෙන යාමට ඔබතුමාගේ අවසරය පතමි. තුමාණන්
මම සිංහල බෞද්ධ නායකයෙක්. ඒ ප්‍රකාශ
President
කරන්න
Gotabaya Rajapaksa
සිංහල
said that he is a Sinhala Buddhist leader and he will never hesitate to state the same. He said he governs the country in accordance with Buddhist teachings, within the Buddhist philosophic tradition of peaceful coexistence, which gives due respect to all religions and ethnicities. Every person in this country, irrespective of his or her ethnic or religious identification, has the right to enjoy the freedom as equals under the nation's legal framework, he added. The president said that traitorous elements always band together and seek to marshal domestic and foreign forces against the leadership that upholds the indigenous way of life and country's sovereignty. Such elements mislead the public through false propaganda in a subtle way, he added. The president requested the people of the nation to always think critically before acting. If people make assessments based on facts and take decisions only after finding out the truth, no one will be able to mislead the public, he added. The president also said that the public has given the current government a mandate to execute the policies articulated in his vision statement, Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor. He said that he has sworn as the nation's leader to always protect the nation's independence, unitary status, territorial integrity and sovereignty on behalf of the future generations. He said that he will always uphold that pledge. Sri Lanka is a democratic nation. He indicated that every citizen who lives in this country has equal rights. He added that they reject any efforts to divide our citizens based on ethnic or religious reasons. He also said that they always strive to protect the fundamental rights and human rights of all citizens and always stand for the principle of one nation, one law. He said that the government always respects the rule of law. The public has rejected the undue influence that was exerted on law enforcement agencies and the judiciary by politicians in the past, he added. However, the public also expects fair, unbiased and efficient service from the officials who enforce the law, he further added. As such, he said that he has advised the Attorney General's Department to swiftly act upon matters that have caused great concern to the public, such as the Easter Sunday attacks and the Central Bank bond scam. He said that he has now received the final report of the Presidential Commission appointed to inquire into the Easter Sunday attacks. He also said that he has already given instructions to implement its recommendations, simultaneously taking into account the recommendations of the previous Parliament's Sectoral Oversight Committee on National Security. Action will be taken against all parties involved in this tragedy. He said that the government will not allow those responsible for designing and enabling this tragedy to escape justice. He added that they will never allow extremism to raise its head again in this country. Amidst striving to develop the agriculture, industry and service sectors to strengthen the national economy, he said that the government is also taking steps to minimize obstacles to the promotion of foreign direct investments. While the policy of not selling national economic hubs to foreigners remain unchanged, he said that he trusts that the public will critically assess the misinformation and misinterpretations being propagated by those with ulterior political motives to deter foreign investors from investing in Sri Lanka. He said that he has established a Presidential Deregulation Commission to change the outdated laws and regulations that affect the general public as well as the domestic and foreign companies. This long discussed but unimplemented activity has finally commenced, he added. The president said that in his belief, implementation of the recommendations of this commission will provide significant impetus to the country's future economic development. He said that he has always loved and respected the environment in the past while serving as a secretary to the Ministry of Urban Development. He said that he strove to protect the environment when undertaking such activities as urban beautification, urban development, and the creation of walking paths and urban parks. Today, too, the government has paid particular attention to preserving the environment for future generations, he added. The president indicated that the foundation of the citizen-centric economic policy is that the true potential of the economy cannot be unleashed without economic freedom. To achieve the government's aims of eliminating poverty, providing equal opportunity for improvement of all citizens, and developing domestic businesses, the country requires a clean and efficient public service. The public service is a powerful nationwide mechanism. This represents an opportunity that many countries in the world do not possess. Therefore, he said that he expects the powerful mechanism to make a significant contribution to the national decision-making process. However, he said that he has observed that weaknesses currently prevail in decision-making at every level. Even on very simple institutional matters, he said that he has observed that officials avoid making decisions and refer them to the cabinet of ministers. They expect advice from circulars for every activity. He added, the president said that they avoid taking decisions even within the limits of their authority. He said that if they do not change the situation, it will be extremely difficult for us to take this nation forward. The president pointed out that the legal reforms necessary to protect those in the public service who take correct decisions are currently being formulated. Therefore, he requested all those in positions of authority to ease the limitations and practices that obstruct the general public through the state administration. Corruption and waste are significant obstacles to a nation's development. He said that they are setting an example to eradicate corruption and waste in the public administration. He further said that they will not be lenient on anyone who is found guilty of corruption or waste. However, one of the difficulties they face in preventing corruption is the indirect support given willingly or unwillingly by the public to such activities. Accordingly, he said that he requested the general public not to engage corruption either directly or indirectly. If anyone is found to be engaging in corrupt practices, please inform the relevant authorities, he added. The president invited everyone to join in a national effort to mobilize public opinion against corruption and waste. The president also said that various parties claimed that they worked to ensure his election as president. He said that people from every section of society gathered around him to support his campaign. He said that in his belief, the vast majority of these people did so not in search of personal benefits, but because they expected him to serve the nation diligently. He said that he is always prepared to fulfill the genuine expectations of the public that supported him with honest intent. However, he said that he will never take decisions that will damage the country and to please those who seek gains for themselves personally or for their businesses. Throughout history, strong civilizations were built and nations developed by those who worked on targets by looking positively towards the future. At this juncture, the nation's development requires precisely that kind of vision, the president stated. President Rajapaksa said that no contribution can be expected from pessimists and those who do nothing but criticize the work of others. He said that what they require today is the support of citizens with a positive vision who love their country, who contribute to society, and who do not make unfair criticism but offers practical solutions to the issues they face. He said that they are committed to achieve the principle of the productive citizen, happy family, disciplined and ethical society, and a prosperous nation. If the majority of citizens in this country provide their due contribution towards this, they can make this principle a reality, he added. Therefore, he requested all the citizens of this country to think positively and join with the government to build the future for all children. He said that he is the leader that the nation searched for. He said that he will discharge the responsibility the nation has entrusted to him with commitment and dedication.
මේ මොහොතේ අවශ්‍ය වන්නේ එවැනි චින්තනයක්. අනෙකුත් අය විසින් කරන හැම දෙයකම වැරදි පමණක් දකින සමාජයක් වෙනුවෙන් Taman කිසිවක් නොකරන සර්ව අසුභවාදීන්ගෙන් රටේ ප්‍රගමණයට කිසි දායකත්වයක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. අද අපට අවශ්‍ය වන්නේ රටට ආදරය කරන සමාජයට වැඩදායි විවේචනය පසකලා ගැටලුවලට ප්‍රායෝගික විසඳුම් ලබා දෙන ධනාත්මක පුරවැසියන්ගේ ආශිර්වාදය හා සහායයි. ඵලදායි පුරවැසියෙක් සතුටින් ජීවත් වන පවුලක් විනයගරුක ගුණගරුක සමාජයක් සෞභාග්‍යමත් දේශයක් කියන මූලික අරමුණු ඉටු කර ගැනීම සඳහා අපි කැප වී සිටිනවා. අපේ රටේ බහුතර ජනතාව ඔවුන්ගේ නිසි දායකත්වය ලබා දුන්නොත් ඒ අරමුණු ඉටු කරන්නට පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා ධනාත්මක ආකල්ප සහිතව ඔබේත් මගේ දූපුතුන්ගේ අනාගතය ගොඩනැගීම සඳහා අප සමග එකතු වෙන ලෙස මේ රටේ සියලු පුරවැසියන්ට මම යලිත් ආරාධනය කරනවා. ඔබ ඉල්ලා සිටි නායකයා මමයි. ඔබ මට බාර දුන් වගකීම මම නොපිරිහෙලා ඉටු කරනවා.
Much past of the Tri-Forces, the Police and Civil Defence Corps paraded in celebrations of the 73rd National Independence Day ceremony. The cultural pageants brightened the celebrations of the ceremony.
සියලු මාතෘ භූමිය සුරැකීමේ වගකීම ඉටු කිරීම සඳහා සන්නද්ධ සේවාවන් සමග එක්ව යුදවීමේ සතුරාට එක්ව නොබියව ඉදිරියට යමින් ලක් තරණී තලයට එබැවින් ජාතික දජ රැගෙන අපේ විරුවන් ගමන් කරන මොහොතේ පෙර ගමන් රථයයි ඔබ ඉදිරියට ඇදෙන්නේ. අන දෙන්නා යුද හමුදා මූලස්ථානයේ අධ්‍යක්ෂ ජෙනරාල් ප්‍රධාන මාණ්ඩලික මේජර් ජෙනරාල් ප්‍රියංක ප්‍රනාන්දුයි. දැන් ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද හමුදාව සම්මාන පෙළපාලියට එකතු වන අවස්ථාව. පසුව යුද හමුදා අශ්වරෝග කණ්ඩායම ගමන් කරන අවස්ථාවයි. උද්ෘතය හිස දැරූ ශ්‍රී ලංකා සංඥා බලකායයි මේ.
මාතෘභූමියට සාමය උදා කිරීම සඳහා පැවති ක්‍රියාන්විතයන්හිදී සුවිසල් කාර්යභාරයක් ඉටු කරන ලද ශ්‍රී ලංකා සිංහ රෙජිමේන්තුව
රට සුරකින්න විරුවන්ගේ පරපුරේ ගජබා රෙජිමේන්තුවේ ආචාර්යයි මේ. නොහැක්කක් නොමැත. ඔව් මේ ආචාර්ය පෙළපාලියේ සිය ආචාර්ය කරන්නේ කොමාන්ඩෝ රෙජිමේන්තුවයි. අධිෂ්ඨානයෙන් අභීතව අරමුණ කරා මේ 73 වන නිදහස් සමරුවට සිය ආචාර්ය විශේෂ බලකායෙන් ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද හමුදා කාන්තා බලකාය සිය ආචාර්ය එක්කරන අලංකාරයයි මේ.
රට වටබැඳි රන් වැට යන විරුදාවලියන් ජාතියේ ප්‍රථම ආරක්ෂක බලල්ල ශ්‍රී ලංකා නාවික හමුදාව 73 වන අභිමානවත් නිදහස් සමරු උළෙලේ ආචාර්ය පෙළ පාළියට එක්වන අවස්ථාව.
වෙනි නිදහස් දින සමරුම වෙනුවෙන් ගෙනෙන ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගුවන් හමුදා සම්මාන පෙළපාලියයි දැන් චීනයේ නිෂ්පාදිත Y12 වර්ගයේ ගුවන් යානා පෙළක් දැන් ඉහළ අහසේ දැක ගැනීමට හැකි. අභිමානවත් 73 වන ජාතික නිදහස් දින සමරුම පෙළපාලියට මෙසේ එක්වනවා. විශේෂ ගුවන් මෙහෙයුම් බලගණය ගුවන් හමුදා ආචාර්ය පෙළපාලියෙහි අභිමානවත් අයුරින් ගමන් ගන්න ආකාරයයි මේ ඔබ දකින්නේ.
73 වන ජාතික නිදහස් දින පෙළපාලිය සඳහා ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොලිසිය ඉමහත් අභිමානයෙන් එක්වන අවස්ථාව. පොලිස් විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකා බලයනිය සම්මාන පෙළපාලියට එක්වන අවස්ථාව. සිවිල් ආරක්ෂක දෙපාර්තමේන්තු සම්මාන පෙළපාලියයි.
විමානෙන් යුතුව එක්වන්නේ ත්‍රිවිධ හමුදා සේවා මුක්ත බටහිර ජීවිතයේ දෙවැනි කොට මව්බිම සුරකි වීර පුතුන් මෙලෙස 73 වෙනි ජාතික නිදහස් දින උළෙලට රණක්ෂිත විරුවන් ලෙස අභිමානෙන් එක්වෙයි.
දැන් 73 වන ජාතික නිදහස් සැමරුම් උළෙලට සන්නද්ධ රථ පෙළපාලිය එකතු වන මොහොතයි.
14 වන රසායනික ජීව විද්‍යාත්මක විකිරණශීලී සහ න්‍යෂ්ටික රෙජිමේන්තුවට අයත් සෙබළුන් ගමන් කරනවා. රට තුළ ව්‍යාප්ත වී ඇති COVID-19 වැළැක්වීමේ ක්‍රියාන්විතයේදී ඔවුන් සුවිශාල කාර්යභාරයක් ඉටු කරනවා. විශේෂ බලකා ප්‍රහාරක දාවන පැති බලගණය
ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගුවන් හමුදා විශේෂ ගුවන් මෙහෙයුම් බලගණයේ ප්‍රභූ ආරක්ෂණ යතුරු පැදි කණ්ඩායම ගමන් කරනු ලබනවා.
සමස්ත පෙළපාලියේ අවසානය සරිලුහන් කරමින් ගමන් කරන රථයයි මේ.
Now, the traditional gun salute presented by Sri Lanka Navy for the nation, signifying the National Independence Day commemoration, was conducted at the Nauka Samudra vessel of the Sri Lanka Navy this afternoon. This gun salute is conducted on a national day or any important day declared by the government. A maximum of 25 gun salutes offered on such events. The first gun salute with 15 salutes was offered by Sri Lanka Navy, signifying the independence gained by Sri Lanka in 1948 at the Goldface Green. In 1950, the gun salute was offered at the Vijay vessel. This is the first time a gun salute was offered on a vessel belonging to Sri Lanka Navy in 70 years for the National Independence Day. This event was organized under the instructions of the Navy Commander, Vice Admiral Nishantha Ulugethanna.
Commemoration ceremonies were organized in many places across the country, marking the celebrations of 73rd National Independence Day. Floral tributes were offered this morning to the statue of late Prime Minister Mahamanya D.S. Senanayake, who pioneered the movement to achieve independence to the country from the British imperialists. Minister Gamini Lokuge, Colombo Mayor Rosi Senanayake, representing the family of late Prime Minister D.S. Senanayake, Vasanta Senanayake and former parliamentarians Palitha Rangi Bandara and Ruwan Wijewardena were present at this occasion. The Independence Day commemoration ceremony was held at the Jaffna District Secretariat with the participation of parliamentarian Angajan Ramanathan. The Independence Day commemoration ceremony was organized by the Centre for Jaffna Civil Societies was held in Jaffna. A pageant with a massive crowd along with national flags paraded the streets near Jaffna Fort. State Minister Dayasiri Jayasekara was also present at the occasion.
Now, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says when the freedom becomes further meaningful with the Vistas of Prosperity policy statement entrusted on the public while realizing the reforms needed for each sector, the prosperous tomorrow, prosperous motherland stance would become a reality. The Prime Minister made these remarks while issuing a message marking the 73rd National Independence Day. All Sri Lankans celebrate the 73rd National Independence Day with immense pride. The commitments and battles of the Sri Lankans to gain independence since becoming a colony of the imperialists are recorded in the world's history. Sri Lankans possess a history of fighting many battles in the long struggle to achieve independence through strategic means, not only with military might but also with political, religious and cultural approaches. At present, our motherland needs a process to denote the achieved freedom. The Prime Minister's Independence Day message further indicates that improving harmony among ethnicities and religious reconciliation would be a significant support for this process. Valuing the nationalism amidst various challenges, Sri Lanka has entered into the path to take the motherland towards development through an economic policy. The Prime Minister has indicated that the country should work together on a firm policy to defeat domestic and foreign forces as well as terrorism, which challenged the nation throughout history. The Prime Minister has emphasized that they would not betray the motherland amidst many challenges. Pointed out that the importance in defeating the COVID-19 outbreak and standing together as one nation, the Prime Minister in his Independence Day message has conveyed his gratitude and respect to all those who have made extreme commitment and to the extent of sacrificing their own lives for sovereignty and territorial integrity. Issuing a message on the National Independence Day, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that all should march forward to achieve the real freedom of the nation. As a nation, the victories, drawbacks and defeats occurred in the country can be observed in the past 73 years. It is the responsibility of all citizens to realize the freedom defined by late Prime Minister Mahamanya D.S. Senanayake. The opposition leader in his message has said that those who commit for this noble quest are the greatest heroes of the golden future of Sri Lanka. Minister Dr. Kehelia Rambukwalla has said that celebrating the 73rd independence of the nation in a grandeur manner under one country, one flag and one anthem is a dignified felicitation for the heroes who sacrificed themselves to commit for the freedom as well as territorial integrity of the country. The nation's worst tragedy was LTTE terrorism. In his National Independence Day message, the minister has said that the entire nation is fortunate to have both President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa combined as the first and second citizens of the country in bearing the responsibility of the motherland. In his message, the minister has also said that all parties should discard any differences and fulfill their responsibilities to achieve a safer country and a prosperous nation.
Now let us take a look at a brief history on the independence gained by the Sri Lankans on February 4th, 1948. Portuguese, Dutch and British imperialist empires colonized Sri Lanka during various eras throughout the history of the country. With the colonization, the resources, culture and the economy of the country were mutilated. British imperialists colonized Sri Lanka in 1815 after defeating the Dutch in 1796 and the Sri Lankan Kingdom. However, Sri Lankans continued to struggle against the British imperialism throughout the time. Venerable Variapala Sumangalathera put down the British flag bravely and stood before the firearms of the British colonizers, giving life to Sri Lanka's struggle against the British rule. 1818 and 1848 insurgencies were erupted and the people were armed with swords in against the violations made by the colonizers to the 1815 agreement. Sri Lanka received independence in 1948 under Dominion status. The 1972 Republic Constitution ensured the complete independence to the nation. However, the racism and discriminatory opinions and stances created by the imperialists erupted from the north, and the North terrorism terrorized the country, and uncertainty instilled in the hearts of the people over their lives with the bomb blasts occurred across the nation. Terrorists claimed as Tamil Eelam revolutionaries continued to destroy the lives of the people without any racial or any other division. They destroyed not only the lives of the state leaders, military heads, but the lives of innocent children as well. They even trained the young children to carry arms without engaging in educational activities. Under such situation in the country, a decision was reached in 2005 to end the terrorism from the face to the country. Then President Mahinda Rajapaksa became the caretaker of the nation with this decision. Many efforts were taken to sabotage the mission against terrorism carried out by the military and the governing leadership of the country. However, the country's leadership continued to thrive forward with the correct guidance given to the military to save the country from the clutches of terrorism. As a result, the brutal terrorism of 30 years came to an end in 2009. Citizens of the country who were enjoying the freedom gained in 2009 began to fear for their lives with the recent Easter Sunday terrorist attack, while the economy of the country continued to collapse from thereon. The country, which experienced a backward progress, elected a new president to take the country towards the prosperity. The new leadership was given the responsibility to prevent the extremist terrorist organizations to rise again in the country. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has also been given the responsibility to achieve an independent and strong economy in the country. Meanwhile, one of the severe challenges faced by the present government is the COVID-19 pandemic, which has engulfed the entire world. The present government has been able to successfully face this challenge when other nations continued to back down before the pandemic. Accordingly, Sri Lanka has ranked 10th among the nations which have handled the COVID-19 outbreak successfully. The present government has also successfully initiated the national vaccination program to safeguard the people from the COVID-19 outbreak. The time has come for the nation rally round to further strengthen the national security while facing challenges posed before the country to uplift the economy and safeguard the national resources. Well, with that, stay tuned for more local stories coming up next.
හඳුන්වා දෙන ප්‍රීමා ස්ටෙලා පෙනිමුස කළ සෙට් යෝගට්.
බුද්ධිමත් ඇගේ තීරණය ප්‍රීමා ස්ටෙලා. අපි හැමෝම කැමති.
Welcome back. Now, in the meantime, world leaders have extended their congratulatory wishes for the 73rd National Independence Day celebrations of Sri Lanka. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his message, has reiterated the shared deep-rooted millennia-old ties based on shared linguistic, religious and cultural traditions. He underlined the cooperation between the two nations over the past year, including in the joint fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. He further wished that the strong ties between the two nations would be further cemented in the years to come and contribute to the progress and common prosperity of the people. Chinese President Xi Jinping has also sent a congratulation message for the 73rd Independence Day of Sri Lanka. He has stressed that China-Sri Lanka relations withstood huge challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic with stronger political mutual trust, deeper bilateral friendship and broader joint practical cooperation. Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohamed Sohi has also expressed his wishes for the 73rd Independence Day. In his tweet, the president has wished that bonds between the two countries may grow even stronger in the future. On behalf of the U.S., Ambassador Elena B. Teplitz, U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka and the Maldives, offers her congratulations to the people of Sri Lanka on the 73rd Independence Day. British High Commission in Colombo has also wished the country on its 73rd Independence Day. In the message, the British High Commission has congratulated the entire nation and its people on this significant day. The Japanese embassy in Sri Lanka, in its official Facebook page, has also conveyed its wishes to the nation and its people for the 73rd Independence Day. In the message, the embassy has said that Japan will continue to commit for the development process of Sri Lanka. Now, religious activities and observances were organized in many places across the country in celebrations. Rather, the interim report of the committee appointed to present a suitable methodology to identify and determine national heritages in the country was handed over to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa last evening. It was handed over by the members of the committee. According to the interim report, the proposed methodology expected to be announced on February 8th in order to obtain public views, opinions and suggestions. The Prime Minister, in accordance to request made by State Minister, obtained the relevant cabinet approval to present a suitable methodology to identify and determine national heritages in the country. Accordingly, a 16-member expert committee was appointed in this regard. State Minister Vidura Vikramanayake, members of the committee and Secretary to the Prime Minister Gamini Senarath were present at this occasion.
Well, on the stories from the COVID-19 update in the world faces thousands of variants of the virus that causes COVID-19, prompting a race to improve vaccines, Britain said today, as researchers have begun to explore mixing doses of the Pfizer and AstraZeneca shots. Around 4,000 variants have been documented as the virus mutates, including the British, South African and Brazilian variants, which appear to spread more swiftly than the others. British Vaccine Deployment Minister Nadim Zahawi indicated a lesser probability for the current vaccines not to work against the new variants. According to the British Minister, all COVID-19 vaccine manufacturers are looking into the potential development of their respective vaccine to ensure to prepare for about 4,000 variants around the world of COVID-19 at present. While thousands of variants have arisen as the virus mutates on republication, only a very small minority are likely to be important and to change the virus in an appreciable way, according to the British Medical Journal. The novel coronavirus has killed 2.268 million people worldwide since it emerged in China in late 2019, while recording more than 104.4 million cases. Meanwhile, more people are now vaccinated against COVID-19 than have been infected by the virus that has swept the globe over the past year, a milestone on the road to ending the pandemic based on data reported yesterday. Despite the landmark data, it remains unclear how long it will take to vaccinate the world. Many of those vaccinated have received only 1 or 2 doses required. A total of 104.9 million vaccine doses have been administered, according to the University of Oxford and the US-based Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In the meantime, Mexico has reported 1,700 new confirmed fatalities from COVID-19, bringing the total deaths in the country to 161,240. Brazil has registered 1,250 deaths in 24 hours. While registering 56,000 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, the country has registered nearly 9.34 million total confirmed cases and 227,560 deaths due to the virus, and the highest death toll outside the United States. Meanwhile, religious activities and observances were organized in many places across the country in celebrations of the 73rd National Independence Day. Religious observances were conducted at the Sri Abhayarama temple in Narayanpeta this morning. Venerable Muruthetwe Ananda Thera presided the observances. The event was organized by the Department of Buddhist Affairs and Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs. Venerable Professor Madagoda Abethisa Thera conducted a sermon at the event. The Buddhist religious observances at the Polwata Sri Dhammakirti Yaramaya in Kolpiti were conducted by the Mahasangha, led by Chief Prelate of the Sri Lanka Ramanya sect, Agamaha Pandita, Most Venerable Makulve Vimala Thera, Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardana, Opposition Leader Sajith Premadasa, Colombo Mayor Rosi Sena Nayaka were also present at this occasion. The National Independence Day Holy Mass held at the All Saints Church in Boralla was conducted under the patronage of Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit today. State Minister Ajit Niwad Cabral and P. Shantha were present at this occasion. Hindu religious activities were conducted at the Kadireshan Kovil in Bambalapitiya. It was held with the participation of Minister Douglas Devananda. It was conducted by Chief Gurukul Shivashri Nagaraja. Islamic religious activities were conducted at the Majma'ul Khairat Juma Mosque. It was held with the participation of Minister Ali Sabri and Governor of Uva Province Muhammad Muzamil. The activities were organized by Islamic Religious and Cultural Affairs Department.
Now, the government has made all preparations to obtain the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine required for 9 million people in the country. Chairman of the State Pharmaceutical Corporation, Dr. Prasanna Gunasena, said that steps have been taken to obtain the required vaccine quantities on the 15th. Chairman of the State Pharmaceutical Corporation, Dr. Prasanna Gunasena, said that steps have been taken to submit the purchasing order to obtain vaccines required for 9 million people in the country from the Serum Institute after obtaining the approval from the Presidential Task Force for Welfare. He said that discussions are underway with the mediation of the Government of India on the required price rates for the vaccines. He added that following the discussions, the relevant contract will be signed and measures will be taken to bring down the necessary vaccine quantities on February the 15th. He said that 40% of the country's population can be vaccinated with the consignment. He also said that WHO has informed that 1.2 million vaccines will be provided to the country during this month. He said that 50% of the population can be vaccinated with a combination of the two vaccine quantities. He further said that the epidemiology unit has indicated that the vaccination process can be completed by the month of April. The epidemiology unit says that AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine has already been administered to more than 139,114 people in the country under the COVID-19 inoculation program. The AstraZeneca vaccination was initiated on January the 29th. Today is the 7th day of the program. A total of 21,147 persons have received the vaccine yesterday. COVID-19 recoveries in the country has surpassed 60,000 milestone at present. The percentage of fully recovered patients has increased to 90.72%. 8.78% COVID-19 patients are still undergoing treatment, which amounts to 5,865. Another 355 COVID-19 patients were identified in the island today. Meanwhile, 4 COVID-19 related deaths were reported yesterday. The deceased have been identified as residents from Yatihantota, Devalpola, Valgamula and Nigambo. And that's the wrap of tonight's Primetime News, and until we meet again next time, do take care and good night.
Good night.